Welcome, everybody, to Midday Magazine for this Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. Have your host, James, here. We're joined right now by CEO of Your United Way of Southwood and Adams Counties, Tari Jahns. Good afternoon, Tari.
Good afternoon.
Being professional now.
Yes, we are.
Put on our
Maybe
serious
we're just
hats.
Frozen.
Yes, a little column A.
Brain's moving a little slow.
We appreciate you being here, Tari, and we're going to talk about some great things going on currently with our United Way. But if we could rewind a little bit to the thank you celebration that just got done a little while ago. I'd love to hear about how that went.
Yeah, so on January 8th, we had our campaign thank you celebration, and that was a little while ago, but, this is a monthly visit, so there's just some things we want to make sure that we hit on. But, this is a really important kind of milestone event for us each year because we are showcasing the campaign and where we're at, and honestly, the first week of January, we're very rarely at 100%, but we're close, right? And we typically keep the campaign open for the whole month of January, and so, here today, we are at 96% of the campaign, so we still are, working toward that number. But that's really a big part of what the celebration is about, is saying, hey, here's where we're at, here's what we still need. But really celebrating a few different areas, and that is campaign volunteers. So our volunteer campaign chair for this year was Shalina Walschlager, and she's from Smurfit West Rock, which is in the southern part of our service area. Mm-hmm. Just as a reminder to everyone, we say it in our name, of course, but we serve Southwood and Adams County. So, it was great to have Shalina step up and say, hey, this is important to me. I'd love to do this. Because, of course, there was more travel involved for her than maybe somebody, in Southwood County who might volunteer. So she did a fabulous job. So we, absolutely thanked Shalina and got her up there and made a big deal. And then she also helped us hand out some awards and recognition. One of the things that I think people maybe are not aware of, unless they help coordinate a company campaign, is that we utilize what we call loaned executives. So these are individuals from the community that their company has said, yeah, we'll give you time, we'll give you work time to get on out there and help United Way. And why they're really important is because each of these individuals will take on 4 or 5 companies, and they'll help us get material there. They'll do follow-up calls. They'll pick things up just to be that liaison. Because, the reality is with 3.5 staff members, it just would take longer. When we can add these, 9 people we had this year, when we can add those in, right, we can get a long way. It's 4 times as many,
many
right?
Hands.
So I just, I'd like to, we don't always, and we did at the Thank You Celebration, but I'd like to just call these people out because I think that, many of them have been doing it for a long time and they keep coming back, which is really important. So this is just, kind of a rundown, and I think it's important for the individuals. It's also important for their companies, right? Like they're really supporting United Way by making a donation, by having employee campaigns, but then also giving of the time of these individuals. So our loaned executives for 2024 were Brian Ashbeck from Prevail Bank, Jill Finup, U.S. Bank, Jessica Fox, Aspirus Health, Chris Inda, Next Home Partners, Sally Kistner from the Arts Council of Southwood County, who you're very familiar with. She's a frequent guest. Emma Krings from Paper City Savings Bank, Mystique McCumber from Hilltop Affiliates, Javen Radke from Wood Trust Bank, and Sharon Zeman from Edward Jones. So, that group of people just really above and beyond. Yeah. We figure it to be, we try not to make it cumbersome, but we figure it to be, a 15 to 20 hour commitment. And for, that can be significant, right? Yeah. When you're trying to carve out that time. So, our hats off to them for being volunteers at that level. Of course, we also celebrated our sweepstakes winners, which is always fun. Again, if an individual gave $52 a year, so $1 a week, or increase their gift if they were already giving $52, they got an additional entry, and then we just do a random drawing and we have our winners. And we were able to get out the week before Christmas and award those prizes, so that was super fun. We had a winner at Gunderson Mountain View Hospital and Clinic down in Adams, Next Home Partners, Doorworks, and Pitch Early Learning Center, which is part of WRPS. So we had those 4 winners. We do have 5 prizes, but we did have one winner who actually was a retiree retired from the beer and paper mill back in the day, retired from Consolidated Papers. And he said, I'd like to just give the gift back. Yeah. Not even give it back. I don't even want, I'm not even going to accept it. I just want to let you keep it and use it. So and that was in exchange for anonymity.
Right. Nice.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah. And I shouldn't even really, I mean, I don't know if there was really an exchange, but he just said, hey, I don't want or need to be recognized. Yeah. I appreciate it, but I want you to keep the dollars. So that was really fun. And again, those prizes are all sponsored. Aspirus Health, Gunderson Mountain View Hospital and Clinics, Next Home Partners, Prevail Bank, and Williams Plumbing. So they, are helping us with these prizes. And then, this event just rolls on and on and on, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're recognizing individual donors. We're recognizing long time donors. Mm-hmm. We actually had a donor in the room who has been given for more than 60 years.
Whoa.
So that's super cool.
That is.
So it's a really fun 45 minutes to an hour where we are literally just like, come on up, get your award. And then also our community cornerstone partners. So this is company giving and what that looks like in total for somebody who is a, big supporter as a company. So, I just want to thank everybody and anybody who had a part in our campaign. And, this might feel or seem repetitive, but I think saying thank you is really important.
Absolutely.
And I want to, thank every single individual down to the $1 gift, right? I mean,
yeah,
we have in our community cornerstone partners, we have companies like Domtar that give, over $50,000. And then we have individuals who say, what I can give is $5.
Yeah.
And all of it, that's the beauty of it, right? All of it rolls together and puts us today at 96%. Mm-hmm. So if you've been a donor in the past and you just haven't gotten around to it yet, we will still take a donation. If you already gave, thank you. I mean, I don't know how else to. The first checks went out to partner programs on January 2nd. So the dollars that you just gave, maybe in November, are already hard at work.
Yeah.
So that's really, really important too. So just, again, thank you. And our appreciation goes very deep. And we, look to continue to grow in 2025, expand on programs that maybe we introduced last year in the last couple years. We also, sometimes recognize that things maybe have to end, and sometimes there's, there's some of those growing opportunities that mean that we change. But really, we had an exciting year. We went through a lot of changes. We did a whole brand refresh. So we United Way as a system look fresh and new and crisp and, new colors. And sometimes that doesn't mean a lot to people, but for those of us who are in it and doing the work, it's very meaningful, and it revives, right?
Exactly.
It refreshes things. So we are really excited about that and how that moves forward. What we're not excited about is that our Facebook is still shut down.
Yeah.
So this was a Meta Facebook decision. So I mean, and we're working really hard to get it back up. But engage with us. You can go on our website and get all the same information. It's just that you have to go get it, right?
Yeah.
All the information that you would have gotten on social media. We do have a newsletter that comes out. We have a paper version and an electronic version where you can get updates. We'll send some constant contacts now and then to your email. So if you feel like, gosh, up until November 19th, I was hearing a lot from United Way and now I don't hear anything, we're trying to fix it. So I do encourage you, though, to visit our website, and then you can go to media and you can just, sign up for newsletters. Right now, that's our best. That's just our best option.
And I think even with when the Facebook page is back, I think that's a great option for people. It's coming right directly to you. You don't have to necessarily seek it out. And it's a great resource. It's a great way to keep up to date, not just on the things that you are doing, but the impact you're making. Because I think something in that conversation of all the numbers and all the great stuff that you mentioned there, there's two things that really stand out to me. One, these businesses, these individuals that partner and work with the United Way, I cannot stress enough the extra value you get out of that. Things like this conversation right here. We've mentioned a couple of businesses and a couple of individuals that probably wouldn't have come up in this half an hour otherwise had they not done these things. That's advertising. That's free advertising right there you just got. I think that it's not hard to make make it seem whatever you're donating, whatever you're putting into the United Way, you are getting your money back. whether it is in marketing or advertising, or it is just in doing good and feeling good. And we talk so much about mental health and how important that is in this day and age. Those that are able to donate, whether it's with dollars and cents or with volunteer hours, go so far. And I bring up the volunteer hours because as long as we've been doing this together, every once in a while things take me back a little bit, and I forget so much that you guys do, and you got 3-4 people in that building. It's remarkable, Terry. It really, really is. It's part of the reason why I admire you guys so much, and I look up to you guys so much, and I love working with you guys so much. And it also is just as remarkable, those individuals you mentioned help pull these things off, those volunteers, those long-time volunteers especially. They stand out. We appreciate them, want to note them as well. It speaks to so much of what we talk about all the time about community and working together.
Yeah. And thinking about and speaking of getting your money back, getting your money's worth, getting your investment out of it, we recently just completed, and we've been putting this out for a few years now. We just call it our highlights, 2024 highlights, and then ways to engage for the upcoming year. So I was going to say hot off the press, but it's not even at the press yet. We literally just finalized this, but just a few meaningful impact numbers that I think are important to share, because it validates, right? If you gave $1 a week, or you're a company that gave $10,000, whatever it is, what that impact is. So just a few of these, these are like those deep close your eyes moments, right?
Yes.
So Imagination Library. So Imagination Library is a book gifting program. We, in a milestone for us in 2024, was rolling this out to Adams County as well. So we are 100% covered in our United Way service area. And what's really awesome about that is that just in the year of 2024, 4,970 books were mailed to children from birth to age 5.
Goodness. Man. Wow.
So, just let that sink in, right? Yeah. And one of the things, Dolly Parton designed this program and has very, very specific guidelines. So this is every child. Okay, so this is not, a lot of our work is focused on maybe income disparity, or, if someone has a recent challenge that might affect their ability to cover the cost of something. But Dolly says, she does care about that, but she's saying, for this program, I don't care about that. I want every kid to receive books if they're in a sponsored area. So fortunately, our Women United and just general members of the community have said, yeah, we believe in this program. We're moving, we want to make sure that this happens. And so kids get a book in the mail every month. So if you just think about that, 4,970 books. I mean, it's remarkable. Yeah. And we're in a growing pattern. So that's really cool too, because we just rolled out to Adams at the midsummer last year. So we're still gaining some momentum. So that is really, really awesome. Our 211 contact center. We are one of 8 contact centers that cover the entire state of Wisconsin 24/7. So if you need resources, referral, you are looking for information, you want to connect with someone on something, you can call 211. Literally just dial 211. Like if you had an emergency, you would dial 911. So you dial 211 and you say, hey, I need help with food. I need help. My child needs help with mental health. I need, whatever that, I have furniture to donate. Where could that go, right? It doesn't always have to be that you need. It may be that you want to give. But just our contact center, and again, we're one of 8, but just our contact center answered 5,110 calls.
Man, another staggering
in 2024.
Number. Whoa.
So top needs that people were calling for, housing and shelter, mental health and addiction, and then employment and income. So those are the top needs that folks are calling for. And then we also are part of the Wisconsin Addiction Recovery Helpline. So this is a special call that gets routed through the 211 system, and the resource specialists have to have another layer of training for that. So 410 of our calls actually came through the Addiction Recovery Helpline. So that's pretty awesome too. And, in all with that, we also had a new 211 director start in September, and we only have 2 211 staff. So, I mean, this is great work, and it's meaningful work, and, pretty remarkable. 89 local students participated in the Finance and Investment Challenge Bowl.
Whoa.
That's really awesome. Coming up again in February. Yes. So looking forward to having local teams do that. But, it's a fun way for high school students to showcase what they know just about personal finance, because some people teach that to their kids. Some people think finances are none of their kids' business. You know what I mean? Like they just household finances, they leave out. So it's a quiz bowl kind of style. It's hosted out at Mid-State Technical College. We work with a company out of Madison called Asset Builders who do these investment challenge bowls all over the state, and then the winning 2 teams get to move on to a state competition. So there's some layers of fun competition for the kids, but it's also just really it's really refreshing to go there and observe and see what these kids know. It's remarkable. So that's really awesome. And then one other things I just want to touch on, James, is, as you may recall, last year, 2024, we started our diaper drive, right? So this runs, and we're doing it again. So I'm, talking about it like it's a happening thing. So this runs Mother's Day to Father's Day, right? Community baby shower kind of idea. But we're limiting what we collect. What we're looking for is diapers, unopened. They need it just... diapers, wipes, unscented preferred. I'm just telling people in case you see a sale. And then creams. So like A&D ointment, Decidin, like baby rash creams. So those are the 3 different things that we are collecting. And again, Mother's Day through Father's Day at the United Way office. And then those will be distributed to local programs who have identified or who encounter a need. Last year, we distributed to First Choice Pregnancy Resource Center. We distributed to the Family Center and to the food pantry because they, do have families and they'll just ask when they have a supply of diapers. It's not something that I think they try to stock, but it's expensive. So sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't, but they might just ask, hey, do you have a need for diapers? Or I think there might be a checkbox on the form. I'm not certain, but that's something. So we want to expand that. And we also recognize that there are some other, perhaps direct service organizations that could use some of these things. But 2024, 14,961 items collected.
Wow.
So that's really awesome. But it's just scratching the surface. We know we can do more, right? So we've applied for a couple of grants to help supplement this. But it's also just a plea to the entire community that from Mother's Day to Father's Day, from now until forever, well, maybe not forever, but from now until indefinitely, we will be collecting diapers and wipes from Mother's Day to Father's Day so that we can get those out to the families that have a need. Diapers are expensive, and we recognize that. If you don't have a child in diapers, you might be like, whoa, that's expensive, or you might be like, oh, I've been there, done that, right? But sometimes if we're just out shopping, it's a little bit easier for those of us who aren't in diapers that we, we're not in that stage with our kids that we can just be like, oh yeah, I could spend $20 on some diapers to pass along to somebody who really might be struggling right now.
To that point, Terry, if people are hearing this and they are okay, I want to do it right now while it's fresh in my mind, can they drop these off early or just hang on to them until...
They could. We don't have a ton of storage. So, if you're feeling really generous and you're going to buy 100 boxes, don't bring them to us yet. Because we just really don't. We really don't have a lot of room. But we could take an occasional one, or even if you pick it up, you might encounter a sale. If you pick some up, you could just maybe hang on to them till May. We would really appreciate that. So again, that's upcoming. And then, 2 things on the docket that I just want to share, and I know we're probably close to wrapping up, but one is our calendar raffle. So we will, for the month of March, be selling calendar raffle tickets mid-February to the end of March for April. So if you're not familiar with the calendar raffle, for us, we're doing it every business day for the month of April, and you win whatever cash is shown on that square. So the minimum prize is $75. The top prize is $200. We're giving away $2,400 total, and that's all, again, sponsored. So whatever we make on selling those tickets, and they're $10 a piece, so it's quite manageable. But whatever we make on selling those tickets goes directly into the campaign. Yeah, right. So that's what it's used for and directed at. So we will have those for sale probably when I visit next month. We'll have some, and we can really promote it, and people can stop by and that kind of thing. And then the other is Power of the Purse. We will be March 11th having our Power of the Purse event. This is It's huge. It's exciting. It'll be at Bullseye Golf Club. This is a fundraiser for our Women United Early Grade Learning and Literacy, primarily focused on Imagination Library, which we talked about earlier. So we do some fun stuff. We have a pasta buffet. We have a purse silent auction, raffles, networking, all of those fun things. So that is coming up soon. Tickets will be available on sale. Hopefully by the end of this week. We're just working out some website bumps with getting that form up, and then we will be ready to roll on Power of the Purse. So we've had people asking about it, so I just wanted to get that out there. Save the date, March 11th, and jump on and get your ticket.
Speaking with CEO of your United Way of Southwood and Adams Counties, Tari Jahns again. And Tari, we did a great job rewinding, talking about some of the things currently going on and some things upcoming. But one thing that I hope was noteworthy to the audience, especially longtime listeners out there, well, all these things we were talking about, and you brought up the diaper campaign. And that is something that is relatively new that the United Way has done. And it just speaks to me so much of what the United Way and why we are so thankful for the United Way and how much we would miss you guys if you guys were not here, how important and value it is that we're about 4% away from getting our goal on the campaign. And I bring this up in part because of that. I'm not going to lie to the audience. It's part of the reason I'm bringing this up. But when we empower you guys, you empower us. And we work together on this, and it's such a wonderful relationship that exists in our community. So cannot encourage people enough to donate, and let's say we get a little bit more than we expected with the campaign. Well, who knows what more the United Way could do if we give them the power to be able to do it.
Absolutely. And I'm, very thankful for that, motivation from you to folks. But that is true. I mean, we will... Every dollar we have, we put to very good use and invest back in the community, whether that is through funded partner programs or through our own initiatives, that our staff lead. And again, watch for that highlights page to come out. You'll see the 2024 stats, but then also all the ways to engage in 2025. So, we are just looking forward to seeing you, talking with you, and connecting on the community level. And so, if you are interested in more information, reach out.
How long does the campaign go until, Tari?
Forever. No, I'm just
forever.
kidding. We usually try to wrap up the end of January. We just, you just have to have a date because it would go on forever.
Right.
At some point you just got to have a cutoff date and say, okay, anything we get, I think February 1st is a Saturday. So let's say starting February 3rd, we're going to just put towards the next one, right? Because at some point we just say, that one's done. We're starting the next one. So typically we go with end of January, and I don't anticipate doing anything different this year. Yeah. Now, if we were short like $1,000, I'd keep it open just to get that $1,000.
Sure. Right on. Good on. I love that.
But just in general, end of January is the cutoff. So you've got, basically 2 weeks.
Yeah, keep that in mind, everybody. You still have time to be a part of this year's campaign. We encourage you to do so and encourage you to reach out to United Way any way you can for any needs you might have with 211 or their website, uwswac.org. Be sure to check those out and sign up for that newsletter as well. It's a great way to keep up to date and everything going on over there. Tari, great to see you. Thanks for the time. We'll talk again real soon.
Sounds great.
We'll have more Midday Magazine for you coming up right here at 97.5 FM, 1320 AM. WFHR, we are locally grown radio.